absolutely get that. So we talked about it with
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Uncut 2.2. On the side, maybe we have a man of a man so powerful. I want to thank you so much for coming once again. So my name is Anton Powell. My co-host is Dawson Bullen. I want to welcome each and everybody to Uncut 2.2. Let me know if y'all can hear me. If y'all can hear me, just put a thumbs up inside the comment and also tap the screen share the live. If you're on TikTok, subscribe and also put a thumbs up inside the caption. And I just want to let y'all know I really appreciate each and every one of you all back to the show. We are going to have an amazing show tonight. So I want y'all to stream your thoughts. Tune in. We're going to give you an opportunity as well to also call in to ask Blackmail some questions as well. This is going to be awesome. So without further ado, I want to welcome Blackmail back to Porto. I'm Mr. Blackmail. I just want to thank you for your busy schedule for coming on the show once again. So not only to come, but to educate the public and the Bahamian people at large. No problem, my brother. It is always a pleasure so that we can have conversation to where our country is headed, which we need to keep it, but to allow it to remain sovereign. So it's not a burden, it's a pleasure to be present tonight and in the presence of our listening audience and the Bahamian people at large. So without further ado, just to make it a little easy and the people that's watching, because we now live on Facebook and we also live on YouTube. I apologize, we couldn't get to go live on TikTok tonight, but after the show, we're gonna go on TikTok after that, just for an hour or so. But just for the public and the people around the world watching us right now, I just want you to tell them who Blackmail really is. If you may. Blackmail is a Bahamian, born to two Bahamian parents who loves the country of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. The blackmail has been noticing is an illegal annexation of this country perpetrated by parliamentarians and ministers to government trying to help these illegal elements annex this country legally. And what blackmail have decided is to take a stand for the sovereignty of this country, for the well-being of this country, and for generations that are unborn. Of this country, I'm not a politician, but I'm a nationalist who believe in fighting for rights of our country and the Bahamian people. So in a nutshell, that's what blackmail is. Must I not forget, blackmail is an individual that not only loves this country, but loves the Lord. And blackmail is determined to take its stand for this country and for what I believe the Lord has assigned me to do. That's wonderful. But loving the Lord is the most important. They say that we is a Christian nation. I think we've been a Christian nation for a long time, but we trying to get back there. But just moving a little, moving into this now. I know that the same situation we having with the legal, it did not just start yesterday. I know you're older, way older than me, and you experienced this a long time ago. Where did you think we went? Where we fall short? What did you think happened? And when did you think this actually start? We went wrong from its inception, from independence. That's how big and massive this problem is.
That's why we have to fix it. And the baby boomers, like myself, we can't leave this with the Gen Z. We have to fix this problem. But the problem actually starts from our independence. We had politicians and members of parliament that will follow the law. They put a law in place that is not constitutional. I'm black, make up that. You always heard me mention about the Bahamas Nationality Act. Yes. Let me explain this once again because that is going to be the first of what we talk about tonight. The Bahamas Nationality Act, as a statute law, it was passed in the parliament. You want the Bahamian people to understand that. Okay. The Bahamas Nationality Act has 22 laws. 22. That is a compendium of bills. That's what the Bahamas Nationality Act has 22 laws. But only 18 of those laws actually passed. 4 of the laws that deals with the acquisition of citizenship were not passed. That's where the problem started.
But so which regime? This was under this was Finland?
This was under the Progressive Liberal Party, Finland. Yeah, this was when we were the Bahama Island legislature. We were not fully independent. We were the Bahama Island legislature. The problem started there. Finland them admitted in the preamble of the Bahamas Nationality Act that what they were doing was expedient. It was not lawful. In other words, it was convenient at the time. They admitted it was expedient. And so they never followed the black and white that the British Parliament laid out for them and that the British government laid out in the Constitution to prove that. And that's why I'm so adamant of beheading. To face it now, it's 2 tragedies. Face it. Tragedy of the Bahamas Nationality Act, sections 4, 5, 6, and 9 not being law. It was never passed in Parliament. And we also face with the tragedy of Article 7 of the Constitution.
So what I'm getting from this, we have, like you said, we have a parliament that's supposed to be tabling bills to benefit the Bahamian people. But what it sounds like every time they go inside, there's always something to go against the Bahamian and our country.
What we dealing with? Let me put this properly. We dealing with respectfully is a bunch of constitutional illiterates. In my humble opinion. Not because a past parliament passed a law, what is purported to be a law, to go ahead and continue it. There's something called correction or corrective measures, my brother. And what has been happening from July 10, 1973? They've been hoodwinked. They've been ambushed. Okay? My role in my hand tonight is the Bahamas Independence Order 1973, which became the Constitution on July 10, 1973. Chapter 1, Article 2 simply says this. The Constitution is the supreme law of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Subject to the provision of this Constitution, if any other law is inconsistent with this Constitution, the Constitution shall prevail, and the other law, to the extent of its inconsistency, is void. Whenever Parliament passes a law, there is a litmus test as to its constitutionality. If the law is repugnant or inconsistent with the Constitution, it falls away. Sections 4, 5, 6, and 9 of the Bahamas Nationality Act falls away because it was never passed under the 1973 Constitution under Article 13. It was passed under an existing law. If you would read the 3rd paragraph of the Bahamas Nationality Act, it says that the Bahamas Parliament passed that law under Section 4.2.
So, Bahamians, I just want to let you all know, everybody want to try to learn the Constitution. You got the Constitution right here, sit in this chair.
A living, breathing Constitution.
I'm gonna bring my co-host on the stage and I'm gonna get deep into this with Blacksmith because Blackmail, how much time is that? Because this could take a long time.
We would go until we finish, because what I want to do tonight.
Yeah.
Election is over,
Yes.
party is over, the rum drinking is over, and the grilled chicken eating is over. It's now time for us to take a sober look at what we did in the past in this country, what we are doing presently, and if we keep this nonsense up, what we would do for future generations. We would have no country. We keep this low payments.
I need y'all to grab your popcorn. I need y'all to get, you can watch this on the big flat screen TV at home. We are live on TikTok and we also live on Facebook. We are Blackmail inside the studio today. We are going to break down the Constitution and we're going to talk about so many other stuff. We said that we're going to go until we deal with as much of things we got to deal with.
Yeah.
And I want to,
A lot we got to talk about tonight. And because Blackmail is here tonight, some questions I have pertaining to our legislation, the referendum, and this act that they came up with recently. I want us to get deep into this because a lot of people that we've spoken to and we walked on the road and under the street, and we asked them how they felt about it. We saw a lot of people have mixed emotions.
Yeah.
And I really want to get to the bottom of this because right now it looks like there's no laws in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. I want to know if the Constitution still lives.
yeah, that's the only point that we could now use to break this down is blackmail.
Yeah.
So let's begin with what you mentioned. I think it was last week, something floated in the Nassau Guardian and in Parliament that the Parliament of the Bahamas was going to implement a statute law to amend Section 7 of the Bahamas Nationality Act.
Yeah.
So in front of me, that was posted in the Guardian. Let me read it to the audience. An amendment to the Bahamas Nationality Act would allow the Minister of Immigration to, for a $500 fee, grant permanent residency to people whose citizenship applications have been denied. Bahamas Nationality Act change would provide pathway to permanent residency. The first thing I want to make mention is that the law that they're going to pass is an excellent law. Now, before you start throwing rock at the TV,
You know, I could be devil's advocate.
I think blackmail crazy. In 2023, the early part of 2023, 3 years ago, I recommended that the Parliament of the Bahamas do just the same thing. What they're about to do now.
Wow.
Here is why. Because there's a backstory to that.
Please take us back.
The Bahamas Nationality Act, the amendments that they are about to make, is what I would call a tree of good and a tree of evil. You remember in the Garden of Eden?
Yeah.
There was a tree of good and of evil. The Parliament and the government of the Bahamas now intends to do is to make a safety net for foreign nationals, for person or disproportionately Haitian nationals. That's what they intend to do. Let me go a step further. What they are doing is actually codifying Haitian nationals, and I can pick on them because they're the big defense.
Yeah.
Have them.
But they are the majority now.
Codified their real status. Okay? Status of Bahamian citizenship, the Haitian nationals, is unconstitutional. Okay, hold on, you gotta say that.
I just got thinking,
Blackmail being the same feedback. Don't come to me or something like that. When I'm to look at the camera and say that, let them see your mouth moving. Now let's say the AI.
I just gonna say, because you know, people like to say is they have real human beings. Because listen,
Thank you.
but yeah, you real, you all you real is a real place there. Statements is real.
And so, we're gonna break it down. Based on Haitian law,
Yes.
how it stands today,
but they say the patient cannot renounce.
well,
That's in their law.
well. Let's so we can deal with that. But I want to go with they're now saying that they can. So let's use the argument that they can renounce.
Okay.
Right? We can give them the benefit of doubt.
Okay.
They is Haitian, they must be.
Okay.
Okay? Article 13 spoke about involuntary renunciation. They claim that they can now renounce voluntarily. Fine. So we can accept that. So let's deal with that argument. What is happening now, in my view, based on studying this Constitution, Haitian Constitution, they are now providing a safety net for Haitian nationals. Why? If you can recall, about 2 years ago, there was a group called the Patriots when I'm a part.
Yes.
We placed in the Supreme Court a document with is called an originate notice of motion, which challenges the Bahamas Nationality Act and the ways that the government is giving out our citizenship to Haitian nationals. Okay? So, you hold on to that, because I'm going to pass you every document that I'm going to read from. The document that they intend to amend is Section 7 of the Bahamas Nationality Act. Remember now, Sections 4, 5, 6, and 9 is unconstitutional. Section 7 is constitutional because Section 7 is an administrative law. They were able to pass that administrative law under an existing article in the 69 Constitution, Article 42, states that the legislature may make laws for the order and good governance.
Yeah.
The 1967 Immigration Act, the 1967 Immigration Act was a law for the peace, order, and good governance. That was made under the 69 Constitution. So if the government intends to make or alter terms for permanent residency, it's legal because it's an immigration law, not citizenship. Notice what they intend to do, not to make a new route for citizenship. They intend to make a new route for permanent residency. So that is legal. That's understandable. That's why I'm in agreement with you. That's why I suggested that. Now, why did I suggest that? Because what they are doing now is illegal in relation to giving out Bahamian citizenship or nationality, because we use that word interchangeably in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
The Haitian nationals. Let's read the law that they intend to amend. Any person claiming to be entitled to be registered as a citizen of the Bahamas under the provisions of Article 5, 7, 9, or 10 of the Constitution may make application to the minister in the prescribed manner. And in any such case, if it appears to the minister that the applicant is entitled to such registration and that all relevant provisions of the Constitution, I don't want you all to forget that, have been complied with, it shall cause the applicant to be registered as a citizen of the Bahamas. Haitians fall under Article 7 of the Constitution. Notice what is mentioned. Article 5, 7, 9, and 10. Haitians fall under Article 7. Now, notice what it says. Before they are registered as a citizen of the Bahamas, all relevant provisions of what? The Constitution have to be complied. Let's now go to Haitian law. Article 11 of the Haitian Constitution under Haitian nationality says that a person born of a Haitian father or a Haitian mother who are themselves native born Haitians and have never renounced their nationality possesses Haitian nationality at the time of birth. The minute they born, there's no lawyer could run in that operation room, sign paper to cause a Haitian national not to be a Haitian. I see you have a question.
Pen right there. Pen right there. This is why we do this show, ladies and gentlemen.
Hold on, pick me. You trying to tell me
no matter where they go in the world. When they born, they automatically Haitian.
At the time of birth, automatic.
So you trying to tell me they are not standard lick, not
Statements.
state lick?
No, sir. We can get to it. Okay? The governing Haitian nationality shall be determined by law. That's Article 10 in their constitution. Article 11 say, let me repeat it again. Any person born to a Haitian father, Haitian mother, who are themselves native born Haitians. Now they like try slip through with that clause. I'm going to explain that. And have never renounced Haitian nationality, possess Haitian nationality at the time of birth. Now, Haitian nationality is passed through just sanguinis, the right of blood. Okay? American nationality is passed through just solely the right of soil. Under the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution. So if you're born in America, you're automatically American because you're born on that soil.
Yeah.
If you're born anywhere around the world, for one or more Haitian parents, you is a Haitian because of your blood, not because of where you were born. Okay?
Mm.
This claim that if your parent was native born, fine. It's me. Person like Louis Georges
Yeah.
or Frankie Florida who cast us out, or Stephanie St. Fleur.
Disrespectful.
Bitch, I mean, people,
Yeah.
disrespectful people.
They were born the native born Haitian. So they are Haitian at the time of birth. Louis Georges is a Haitian national. Don't mind him around here making noise. Okay? For the right of blood. Now, here's where they try slip up. They're trying to claim that if they now have a child in the Bahamas, that child is not Haitian, that child is stateless. But here's the kicker. The only way the Haitian Constitution exempt their child if Louis Georges formally renounce his Haitian nationality. If none of them are doing, I'm going to explain that also. So, Haitian citizenship is transferred to his children. What they're doing in the Bahamas. Okay? We are giving them fake denunciation documents going against our Constitution, right? And allowing their children to get a belonger status. So we make Louis Georges Bahamian, who have not renounced based on Haitian Constitution. And because we make him a Bahamian, any child is born, child now becomes an automatic Bahamian. But Bahamian citizenship was never formally conveyed upon in Louis Georges. I'm going to show you.
Man, Bahamians, I hope you all listening. I hope you all tapping the screen. I hope you all sharing the live.
Wow.
Invite your family and your friends over because we getting deeper and deeper as we go on. We have black men inside, and you know when he get on these shows, he shut it down. Continue, my brother.
So, the Minister of Immigration, Foreign Affairs, Fred Mitchell, is now back at that post. But in 2014, he spoke to the matter of statelessness, what they were trying to claim. I will give you all the document that was on Bahamas Information Service, and I will read it from my phone. Children of Haitian parents born in the Bahamas are not stateless. This Fred Mitchell, the present Minister of Immigration, by Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Immigration, July 31st, 2014, 7:30 and 39 seconds p.m. Nassau, Bahamas. This is Fred Mitchell's statement. The following is a statement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. There were a number of media outlets who published reports attributed to the Haitian president, saying that there are stateless people of Haitian descent in the Bahamas. Now, this was when Michel Martelly was here in 2012. 7,000 Haitians appeared down to Joe Pines and he came claiming that his people born in the Bahamas were stateless. He's alive. Okay? So Fred Mitchell is now responding to him as at the time the present Minister of Foreign Affairs. As the Bahamas government understands, the law of Haiti, the child of a Haitian born anywhere is Haitian at birth. That's right, Mitchell. This would mean, therefore, that the children of Haitian parents born in the Bahamas are not stateless, and our laws require those persons to obtain a Haitian passport and a resident permit sense at birth. They are not Bahamian. That's right, Mitchell. We have indicated to the Haitian authorities here, however, that if they are, or if they are aware of any cases, statelessness of people of Haitian descent, then the Bahamas will fulfill its legal obligations in international law and in the law of the Bahamas to regularize their status. Watch this. To date, no application has been advanced by or on behalf of any Haitian descent who is stateless. So we offered the olive branch for them to come forward to prove that they were stateless. None came to that state. Okay? So I read that intentionally. They're not stateless. They are Haitian by blood.
I mean, before you continue, we have Fred Mitchell them doing all of these stuff to our country. To our country. Is Fred Mitchell and the which here for this country are there organic behemoths?
If we do the background check on these,
Yeah, because
that's it. Because now I feel a little uncomfortable now sitting here saying that we have somebody who is the Minister of Foreign Affairs and been in that position for all these years, no publicly allowing this kind of stuff that will happen in government.
You gotta understand. The gentleman, Mr. Fred Mitchell, Member of Parliament for Fawcett, Minister of Immigration and Foreign Affairs, is the same gentleman who burnt up our Constitution. So,
so hold on. Let me put it like this. So this is the reason why they hitch to come inside our country and burn
Flag.
because
Only pay the same $500.
precedence has been set.
This is serious.
Precedence has been set. So you have someone who burned the Constitution. So if you're gonna burn up a document, it means that you don't want to go by that. You really looking at it. That's my interpretation of that.
that's what it is.
That's the supreme law. Hey, vote. If you burning up the supreme law of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, you saying to hell with what the Constitution is saying. Now, that same document he burned up, let me read from 2 sections of it. And I'm going to show you how we get into this mess. Now, remember I read earlier that Section 7, the Bahamas Nationality Act said that the minister have to make sure that they comply with the Constitution. Let's read Article 7, the Constitution. A person born on the night of July 1973, neither whose parents is a citizen of the Bahamas, okay, shall be entitled, upon making application of his attaining the age of 18 years, 112 months thereafter, in such manner as may be prescribed, to be registered as a citizen of the Bahamas. So the Constitution gives them an entitlement to apply, not to become a citizen, not an entitlement to citizenship. Everyone is entitled to apply.
But that's gonna say.
Anyone can apply for a job in the new way.
That means they can be the one chosen for the job.
Exactly. So let's understand the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? To be registered as a citizen of the Bahamas, provided that if he is a citizen of some other country other than the Bahamas. Now, Haitians are citizens or nationals of some other country other than the Bahamas because they are citizens and nationals at the time of birth, correct?
Yeah, we agree with that.
He should not be entitled to be registered as a citizen of the Bahamas under this article. So, the same grant that was offered to you in the first part of Article 7.1 is now taken away. He shall not be entitled to what? Be registered as a citizen of the Bahamas under this article, the same article, unless he renounces his citizenship of that other country. Take the oath of allegiance and make and register such declaration of his intentions concerning residence as may be prescribed. So the Constitution offers them. The Constitution offers them an opportunity to apply. But that same opportunity is taken away if they cannot or do not renounce.
And also too, to add to that, while they go to this process, they gotta be in the country while doing this. You have to be out of the country, and you get called to do an interview, right? And that's how it goes. That's the requirement.
Well, they have since changed the law in 2015. I believe that you can now be in country. I'm not sure that might still apply for work permit. But as it relates to citizenship, children born here, I don't think they have to leave the country because they put a law, a statute law in place that they can apply here. But that is not the problem.
The 7 says that they have to renounce.
And this now is the backstory to what I read or what was mentioned in terms of what they're trying to do with the Nationality Act. What I'm giving you now is the backstory as to why I suggested this and now why they're doing it because they could see what's coming.
Well, now they see what's coming.
And you know,
We had this, didn't Lopez Roca warn us about
What?
this? But I said, he was around when Lopez Roca was around. You met him before? The opportunity.
Never had a speak.
But he spoke about these things. And I keep hearing about these things. Dr. Miles Monroe, I watched some of his past videos and his teaching, and he talked about this. He talked about foreigners coming and taking over the land. And I hope for some strange reason, this is coming now from circle. Why? Why? And then we have lawmakers or legislators not addressing these concerns.
you know why? You know why this is happening now? Back in the day, they couldn't do that. Back in the day, you know why they could do it, blackmail? Because technology wasn't out there back then. We have now technology where you can take the family and research these things. They could have been back in the day, our grandparents and our great grandparents, them could have only go by what they tell them. They had one form of communication that was radio. So whatever the radio say, whatever, they have to believe that. But now we have technology, we have AI, we have everything now, the research, all of these stuff. And we have people also around the coming and bringing the information to us. Foreigners to come in the country and teaching us about our constitution and stuff. So, but anyway,
So what you're seeing here is Article 7 is a strict constitutional provision. And I said that for a reason because I'm going to read you Article 9. Provided that if he's a citizen of some other country other than the Bahamas, he shall not be entitled to be registered as a citizen of the Bahamas under this article unless he renounces the citizenship of that country, takes the oath of allegiance, and make and register the declaration of his intentions concerning as may be prescribed. You see that? There's no safety blanket. You either renounce or not now. Correct? You see it? Now,
Because I am understanding now, they can't renounce.
listen, we can go with what they saying, go. They saying they could. They can stick with that.
Okay.
All right? That's a different argument for different days. So let me go. They know their law better than me. They might be dead right. So we can go with that argument.
Okay.
I have decided several months ago to take that argument on because that puts them in a further predicament. You will see later.
get deeper beyond it. I hope you all too. I hope you all tapping the screen, sharing the live, and let everybody know that we are live and we're getting hold on. Black maybe got all the air conditioning on and you're still sweating. Coming up.
It ain't holy. It's not holy. So we're going to move from Article 7 of the Constitution, which deals with children that are born to non-Bahamian parents. Any foreigner.
Yeah.
But it's going to be the Night Haitians because they trying to take the country. I don't see no Chinese or Jamaicans trying to do that. Or Americans.
We did see a couple of them voted. But we can get on that. That's another story for another show.
Yes. And so let's go to Article 9 of the Constitution. Notwithstanding anything contained in Article 8 of this Constitution, a person born legitimately outside of the Bahamas after the 9th of July 1973, whose mother is a citizen of the Bahamas, shall be entitled, upon making application on his attaining the age of 18 years, and before he attains the age of 21 years, in such manner as may be prescribed, to be registered as a citizen of the Bahamas, providing that if he's a citizen of some other country other than the Bahamas, he should not be entitled to be registered as a citizen of the Bahamas under this article unless he renounces his citizenship of that other country, takes the oath of allegiance, and makes and registers such declaration or intentions concerning residence as may be prescribed. Watch this now. Section 9(2). Whereas a person cannot renounce his citizenship of some other country under the law of that country, he may instead make such declaration concerning that citizenship as may be prescribed. Now, let me explain. Under Article 7 for the Haitians, there are two prerequisites. First prerequisite is that you have to be born in the Bahamas after the 9th of July 1973. The second prerequisite is that you have a window to apply after attaining the age of 18 and within 12 months before your 1914. Constitutional law. You apply after, it's unconstitutional. The Privy Council and rule on that. We can get to that. Third prerequisite or precondition is that you have to be able to renounce. Full stop. Article 9 is a different provision, gives a different situation for what I call a half-breed Bahamian, meaning that one of your parents is a Bahamian at the time of your birth. Article 9 speaks to a Bahamian woman who marries a foreign mother in a legitimate marriage as a child outside of the Bahamas. That child would take on the domicile or the nationality of his or her father. But at the age of 18, notwithstanding before their 21st birthday, they can apply for Bahamian citizenship. Once they renounce their father foreign nationality, they are unable to renounce. Take, for instance, a country like Argentina. In their constitution, and it has been ratified by the Supreme Court, that they cannot, no circumstance, renounce. So if a Bahamian woman marries an Argentinian man, that child that is procreated in that marriage, one become a Bahamian and cannot renounce, the Constitution gives a safety net for that child who cannot renounce to declare. Make a declaration. Now let's make the point here. A declaration is different from a renunciation. Declaration is more like a sworn oath part of the David. Sworn statement. That's a declaration in front of a notary public. A renunciation is an official document given from your country of nationality by the government itself. A renunciation document, according to which country, by national law, granted by a particular arm of that government. Understood? Now I had to make the discrepancy, or I had to show the audience the difference, the dichotomy, as to why Article 7 and Article 9 have two different meanings. Notice, Article 7 does not provide that safety blanket that if you cannot renounce, you could declare. So that don't go for Haitians who are both parents. That goes for half breed Bahamian. Understood? That's understood.
Yeah.
That's clear. Look, the audience is getting it because we're going something.
We good on Medusa, we good, right? They hit everything.
So Article 7 speaks to foreigners, non-naming terrorists, specifically now Haitians. Okay? Both parents is Haitian. Okay? The safety blanket or the safety net that was given to a home-free Bahamian. It's not the same safety net given to 7, who both parents is Haitian. So Article 7 is absolute. Article 9 provides a safety net. Now, what I'm looking at now is an application form. We have already established that persons like Louis George there, Stephanie LaFleur, St. Fleur, and Frankie Florida, they Haitian national. But they were born to native born out of the country. They Haitian. They children is Haitian because they never formally renounced in Haiti. Okay? Their children ends up in a belongers permit.
Yeah.
To reside. With that belongers permit, they have to pick up their Haitian passport from the embassy in order to go to school. Yeah. That's Haitian. Well, countries only give passport to citizens.
Y'all, I want to see some heart. I need to see some heart. I need to see some shares. Cause listen to me. This you had this dude.
I would do so. I think I would issue with something because yeah, I school and this man is this man on fire.
I don't know what to say on cut 242, but listen to me. This right here, what y'all hearing, it makes so much sense to hear him say these words, what he's saying here, because I understand this. How is it? Other foreign nationalities, like he said, for argument's sake, say they could renounce because that is the argument here. But yet still, you have to be a citizen first.
Yeah, but that ain't it. You have to be a citizen. So now this raised a lot of eyebrow. How now that the Georges now get a position that he in, and now as the what Louis Georges is do, and he became the consultant, this year, not only consultant, immigration consultant.
So he gets a salary.
Well, myself from this country. Let's go back to what I said earlier. That's because he has a fake Bahamian passport. This was given to him illegally, fraudulently by the government. Okay? Based on Haitian law and Bahamian law. Let me show you something. Haitian citizenship is granted the moment Haitian nationality is acquired.
That's
And,
powerful.
and,
At
and
the time of birth,
flying ingredients, like you say, is in the blood.
just ingredients.
Just ingredients is in the blood, correct?
The only way to stop that is through renunciation.
Mm.
So it's never renounced. That's right. Article 11 says, who have never renounced. Any person born to a Haitian father or Haitian mother, who are themselves native born Haitian, and have never renounced.
Mm.
Have Haitian nationality at the time of birth. So the big question is, have they renounced? Now, they claim that they can. We can stick with that. So let's move on now to Bahamian law. We already established this Haitian.
Before you go there, but we know that they renounced because they always saying that they can't go Haiti because of the war and all of this stuff, and how you think how it's going in Haiti and all of these other stuff. So we know without a doubt they did not went back to Haiti to do these stuff. So right there, that one, that's it right there.
Well, so it's there for you. They say they could renounce. Fine, I will accept it. They also say that they don't have to go Haiti to renounce. They could do it at a consulate. I will also accept that. See, I stop arguing with them. My point is, if we go in somewhere, my point is, if they say their law say that they can do certain things, fine. The point I'm at now is I want you to prove these stuff. So fine. You say it could be done, fine. I accept you could renounce since you say that. I accept you don't have to go for the prince before the Justice Department. You could paperwork right through the embassy, fine. And stop arguing with them. Let's deal with our law, and then we would expose their law. So we have established their headship, them and their children.
Yeah.
And their children. So that's stateless nonsense. That's stateless nonsense. Fred Mitchell don't know that. So you cannot come now being a part of the government and now claim they stateless.
And
We
in,
have to hold that argument.
in the same position that he's currently in.
Full slate. So we have them on record. They're stateless. Forget that argument. Now if they want to take that to court, if we can't find a lawyer, if the Beaman people would put together $1 million, put it in either CFAT, Colina, or send it to Deloitte in an escrow account, I will personally take this matter to the Supreme Court myself and challenge the constitutionality of what they're doing. I want the money there because it's a cost. Yes. If it's not about the Privy Council, the Beaman people will need at least 250 to 500,000 for King's Council. Put the money on one account. I will go into the Supreme Court. Get long. An attorney who ain't afraid. Or paralegal. See this in the court. So when they try to them big laughing words at me, I get an answer. When it comes to the arguments, I take over. I'll do that. Put $1 million on the account and blackmail will walk in the Supreme Court. Now, get thrown out of there.
Lord.
So let's look at the citizenship application. It's only to protect my financial interests and my family.
Yeah.
Pay my fight. It's the Benin people fight. Everyone put their $50, $100, raise $1 million. I'll do it pro bono. Don't put no money on my account. Put it in an escrow account. Whenever I send a receipt for payment, send the money direct to whoever we need to pay to get this court movement, this case moving through the court.
My God, listen, me, Anchor 242. You all know we're gonna have to open up one of those. What do you call it? GoFundMe. We can open up that. We can open up a GoFundMe because this man here, from the time I've known and listened to him over the years on the radio and now having to meet him in person several years ago, ladies and gentlemen, we need somebody who's going to stand up for the Bahamian people. If Bahamians understand the value of what you are getting right now on this show, he's putting his life, blood, and energy because, like he said, he's a Bahamian. Yeah, the sweat too. And saying to us, listen, I don't require much from anybody. All I want y'all to do, don't give me the money. You're going to need this amount of money in order for it to go to the Supreme Court because they're going to take it there. All we ask is for us to get together and produce the funding. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to hear from us because we're going to actually produce the GoFundMe account and we're going to spread it around to everybody who on all our social media platforms so we can get to this $1 million mark. I think we can do it. And I think we can do it in a quick way by just keep remembering and putting out this particular recording because, ladies and gentlemen, we are tired. I am tired of having to repeat the same thing over and over. I'm sure I know a lot of us have already spent $1 million. I think every election past, consecutive governments have spent over $1 million just on the same illegal problem that we're having now. So we will say that to let everybody know we will be putting it out there. And every time we come on the show, we're going to make sure, announce that so you can be participant in the change that we want to see. And ladies and gentlemen, my God. I am very happy to hear what you have to say tonight, Mr. Blackmail. This is very, I knew about this, but you're going into depth tonight, and I love it.
The Patriots in which I'm a part of, has already put an originating notice of motion in the front of the Supreme Court. Our problem, we have two problems. First of all, finding an attorney with a backbone to deal with this. Say, parliamentarians and the members of parliament, I don't go for them. I don't go to them for no contract and they don't bongi me. Okay? I ain't looking for no sidewalk contract. Ain't none of them is bongi me. So I into them. Into fighting for country.
Right.
All right? Now, let's go back to the law. Citizenship Form 2, application requirements. This is a citizenship form. It has to be duly completed. In other words, you can't miss out nothing in this form. You got to answer everything. Or you have to comply to everything. There's a 200 non-refundable processing fee. There's several things. But what I want to go is the applicant needs a copy of the biological data page of the applicant's current passport. Must be signed and renewable with minimum of 2 months validity. Copy of the biological data page of applicants of this current passport must be signed, renewable with minimum of 2 months validity. Copy of biological data page of applicant's file. So they need a passport
From the mommy and the daddy.
and theirs in order to get Bahamian citizenship. See the obligation for you? So the mere fact they took up the Bahamian passport, they Haitian.
Mm.
They don't have the passport. They can't get Bahamian citizenship.
If they don't fill out this application,
And the application includes the passport, the Mara passport, and the PA passport. Not Bahamian, man, you know. All right? Not only that, certified copy of the applicant's parents' birth certificate. So their native born parent is a Haitian. Citizenship travels through the blood. That means there's Haitian, bro. How you become a Bahamian? Because of parentage. The Haitian law is the same thing. They Haitian nationals. They have to pick up the passport, means they Haitian. So if you pick up a passport, now you gotta renounce that.
yes.
In order for you to become correct. So you with me? Okay.
Hello.
You hold on to that. See, that's law.
Mm.
It's evidence. That's law. Form is in the immigration department. Application form 2. And you go bypass this. I'm not filling this out properly and have my passport, name and citizenship. How? You always take this.
But let's bring it home. I'm looking at this application. It's saying that they gotta get a police certificate issued not earlier than 6 months and must cover five years of residency. So what document are they carrying to the police station to get a police certificate?
But you can get a police document, traffic or police record, even if you use a foreign.
Okay.
You could just give your name, they put it in the system, and you don't have to be a citizen of the Bahamas to get a police record. You could be a permanent resident, or you could have a work permit, be a work permit holder to get that. But they are not the important documents. The ones that I called off to you, that birth certificate from their ma and their pa,
And the passport.
and their biometric page. The only way you could get the biometric page of a passport is if you have an actual passport. That's all the data. Correct? Okay. Now,
Oh, let's see.
that's the application form.
Let's see.
That is in the immigration department on Hawkins Hill. That's law.
Mm.
Okay. Now, on August 31st, 1973, the Parliament of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, not the Bahama Islands, the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, was before July 10th, we were a British legislature, not a parliament. We became a parliament, a sovereign government, after July 10th, 1973. So after July 10th, 1973, on August 31st, 1973, July, August, that's for a month and a half after independence. The Bahama Island Parliament, Bedside Parliament, and they passed a law called the Bahamas Nationality Act Regulation. Okay? They passed regulations that govern citizenship in the Constitution. Because they can't govern citizenship in the Nationality Act, sections 4, 5, 6, and 9, because that was never passed. That's their law. And I challenge any attorney or anyone to debate me on what I just said. Sections 4, 5, 6, and 9 was never passed in the Parliament of the Bahamas. Under Article 13. Never. Go back to the law. So what we have is the Bahamas Nationality Act 1973, regulations of 1973. Application for registration as a citizen of the Bahamas under Article 5.2, Article 7, or Article 9 of the Constitution. So we can highlight Article 7. Okay? This is the regulations. I ain't gonna go through all this. I'm gonna show you something specific on this.
Please.
Once they fill this form up, this is the requirement. If the application is approved, if that's a conjunction.
Yeah.
And the applicant is not a Commonwealth citizen. That's Haitians. They're from the French.
Yeah.
They're Commonwealth.
They're not a part of the family.
Okay. The applicant will be required to take the oath of allegiance in the form set here under and to renounce his citizenship of any other country before the certificate of registration is granted. That's the law. The law says that they have to renounce before we can give them a Bahamian passport. So they're renouncing from the other, they get that's the law. You read them.
Please. Ladies and gentlemen, this part I need y'all to screen record because a lot of Bahamians didn't understand this article. We need to make sure y'all understand this part. Listen to me. Y'all, this right here, this is dangerous. This is dangerous information that we are getting this evening. This is so dangerous that if a lot of Bahamians don't understand what our Supreme Law is, just this article alone will cost you cry. Because we got so much people around here flaunting fraudulent documents. And they claim to be Bahamians, but their heart is desperately wicked and far from being a Bahamian because they don't love us, because they know where they're from. My Lord.
The Bahamas Nationality Act, Regulations 1973. Form 2, Regulation 3. It's law. Passed on the 31st of August 1973, 1.5 months after independence. Okay, it's law. If the applicant is approved, if the application is approved, and if the applicant is not a Commonwealth citizen, citation, the applicant will be required to take the oath of allegiance in the form set hereunder and to renounce his citizenship of any other country before a certificate of registration is granted. That's Article 7.1. They shall not be entitled to be registered if they don't renounce. That's law, bro. I can leave that with you.
Wow.
That's under the Constitution. And the same provision under their law, the Bahamas Nationality Act, sections 4, 5, 6, and 9. Not constitutionally mandated law. That's their law. Because Parliament never passed the acquisition of citizenship for sections 4, 5, 6, and 9. It was never passed on Article 13 of the Constitution. Listen to this. If the application is approved, the applicant may be required to take the oath of allegiance in the form set thereunder and to renounce his citizenship of any other country before or after
Before
certificate of naturalization is granted. That's all them people in the newspaper. All them I said in the newspaper. The law said they have to renounce before you get a passport. No. Before. You know what that means? Before and after. See the two laws in front of you. They say they can renounce. Fine. I ain't yet in that. They say they don't have to go to Port-au-Prince. Fine. I ain't getting in that. They say they could do that at the consulate and the Haitian embassy of CSA. Fine. I ain't getting in that. Let's accept that. And the benefit of the doubt. Now, what I just read to you is law. We saw this, but not only me saw this. The former director of immigration saw the same thing I saw. Keturah Ferguson.
Wow.
This is why she was allegedly fired by the Brave Davis administration.
My Lord.
Let me show you. You see what I saw? You see what I just showed you in the audience?
Yeah.
Well, it's alleged by me that Keturah Ferguson saw the same thing. Here's why I said that. I'm saying that. She wrote an email to Keith Bell. He was the minister of immigration at the time. You remember when he gave out citizenship to Frank Rancine in the church?
In the church. Yes, sir. I remember that very clear.
Here's what our email said. The email read, "Good afternoon, P.S. Strawn." P.S. Strawn, Cecilia Strawn, was the permanent secretary at the time in the Ministry of Immigration under the Minister Keith Bell. Here's the email. "Good afternoon, P.S. Strawn and Minister Bell. It has been brought to my attention that the department has been swearing in individuals without renouncing, contrary to the requirements of the Bahamas Nationality Act, Chapter 90. Please see attached. Kindly advise under what legal grounds are we covered by not following the law? Await your urgent response." The director of the Department of Immigration told the government they swearing in these people who ain't renouncing. See that email there?
Wow, 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 wow.
The director of immigration, Cecilia, not Cecilia, Keturah Ferguson, who they allegedly fired. They swearing in. Passport. I put the boy like there. But it was alleged by me. That's who she was talking about. They swearing in these people. They ain't renouncing. That's damning. That's your border. Zah. Telling you. Allegedly, a person's here renouncing. And you giving them Bahamian citizenship. They paroled the house and fired the woman. They broke the law. Sent her home. Before they obeyed the Constitution, they fired the woman.
Wow.
You got something to say?
I got 242. Y'all, I hope you all are hearing this. This is some powerful, powerful stuff. Man, listen to me, man, Black Bear. Man, help me understand this, man. How could you do the right thing by sending it to your superior, telling your superior of what's going on, or making a mistakes that somebody could have made? Because I'm going to chop it up as a mistake. Right? And because you're trying to correct the mistake by letting him know, listen, some mistakes is happening. Next couple of months, you are fired for telling your superior that some mistakes is being made.
To take correctment. Notice I use the word elect.
No.
Don't do that, man.
So, man,
Everybody know that. They gangsters.
we know that. We know that. We just want the Bahamian populace to understand what's going on.
They are allowing these people to illegally annex the country. Let me show you how deep this is. I said that at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Men got to wait 5 years.
Wow.
For no election.
You like the man that's in that Black Bear. Don't make me get on the stage and start dancing and start doing the Mary Shuffle. You gotta stop this now. You know how I carry on now. Cause I need to listen, that part, I ain't gonna forget that part. Y'all better stick with me. Cause I want to hear what all this man have to say. But this, he didn't carry us from the beginning.
It's the backstory. The backstory. So we can get to why they want to amend the Nationality Act.
Yeah.
But we giving the backstory.
Because you know what, after the backstory, I'm gonna bring it to the current story. Bring here some chop, helicopter. Yeah, the chop, come in.
But like I told you, I recommended this 3 years ago. It's time to do now.
Mhm.
You told them now. So they have no other choice.
Yes.
Now, plot thickens.
And so long to hide and bigger way. We woke up and fire a whole moment.
And the director,
How long you been working on that?
the
The
director,
look at these corrupt government just don't if you want against them and you want to take them, they fire you.
when they do let me go get a job there and fire him, so tell him,
Because they don't want you. They don't
the
want
director demonstration, the borders out. So Haitian said they could renounce. They say they don't have to go for it, fine. You notice I keep repeating that, right?
Yeah.
I argue that.
They know their constitution better than us.
The they could renounce.
Yeah. Okay.
You start to say what they say. You could voluntarily renounce.
Yeah.
Fine.
Let's go with that. The argument.
He's a bus driver, man.
Thank you.
I ain't studying no constitutional law and I ain't been bucking out.
Yeah,
I got common sense. Fine. So, every country has renunciation laws.
Mm.
And every country has an avenue in which the renunciation laws go through. There's procedures and protocols, correct?
Yes.
The same thing applies to the acquisition of citizenship. So, if you are an American citizen and you receive citizenship under the 14th Amendment, you can renounce your citizenship under Section 349A5 of the nationality laws of the United States of America. So you can renounce in America. Your declaration, and remember now, we have already established what a declaration is. It's a sworn statement, an affidavit by a deponent.
Yeah.
Your declaration must go to the Department of State, the United States of America. The consular here, the embassy here can approve renunciation.
Thank you. I just wanted to make that clear. I'm really trying to make sure the Bahamian people understand that blackmail. Blackmail, a lot of Bahamians are underneath them and underneath the intellect that the consulate here can renounce these people's status as Haitian.
No, sir.
So I want to make sure that's very clear, my fellow Bahamians. The consulate here cannot, no Haitian descent can renounce their citizenship with the consulate, just so you all are clear. Because when we look at these black and white, these documents, plenty people get this misconstrued. This is why we bring blackmail here. We need you all to understand what is taking place. Because plenty people are underneath that assumption. So that is debunked.
No, yeah. But all embassies are for, they serve at the pleasure of the governing party or the government.
Yeah.
They are inbox and outbox.
Yeah.
Documentation back and forth.
Yeah. The can do it, the
Yeah. In between.
Gotcha.
All right. But the final approval does not come from an embassy. International law. We know that. So the State Department approves renunciation of American citizens. I have a copy here. Right? The Department of State. You see what's to the top of that? So they gotta trust you and trust me.
Mhm.
Because we cannot show it to them by a camera.
Yeah.
Department of State. It's the citizenship of loss of nationality in the United States. They have to have a Department of State stamp.
Yes.
On the seal, under the signature of the person who is in charge of the Department of State, not the embassy in the Bahamas. Agreed?
Yeah.
Okay. The same thing applies to renunciation of British nationals. The declaration goes to what they call the Home Office. Not the British High Commissioner. It probably moves to the British High Commissioner and then forwarded to the Home Office in the UK, who gives the final approval. We go in some evidence. This is what the form looks like. See that? Home Office. Declaration of renunciation. That's me saying, give up a United Kingdom citizenship. That's only a declaration. Okay?
Got you.
Yes. Now let's come on. Form 9, Regulation 10 of the Bahamas Nationality Act. If I want to renounce as a Bahamian, I make a declaration of renunciation of citizenship under Section 10. It's it right here. And it is approved and acknowledged, the acknowledgement of renunciation under the Bahamas Nationality Act also come under Section 10. But the minister, that would be at this point Fred Mitchell, have to sign off on that. Not a consular in the United States like how Wendell Jones is a consular in Washington.
Yes.
He can't, if I live in Washington, he can't sign it. Fred Mitchell got to sign it.
So hold on, blackmail. Hold up now. Hold up, blackmail. Hold up. So you mean to tell me for every one of these Haitian migrants or foreigners that get Bahamian passport, the Minister of Foreign Affairs or Minister of Immigration signs off on all of those documentation?
No. But not locally for the Haitians. Their approval can't come from the embassy. It have to come from the Justice Department, Port-au-Prince in Haiti. Trying to establish. That's why I showed you the Department of State to sign off, not the local embassy here.
What is this? Man, you all understand. Okay.
Go ahead and ask it slow.
So, help me understand this. You gotta fill out this declaration. This form gotta go to them in Haiti
Correct.
to get approved
Justice Department, Port-au-Prince in Haiti.
for them to renounce. They have to do a declaration with us here in the Bahamas
To the notary public, who would confirm that the person that is trying to renounce their Haitian nationality is actually the person who is trying to renounce their nationality. So it's a sworn affidavit in the front of a notary public. That's all the consular of the notary public job is. He can't prove that.
He's supposed to prove it if he don't have this documentation. The point is,
Yeah, he can have the declaration. We can get to that. But that declaration would now be forwarded to the Justice Department, Port-au-Prince in Haiti. The final approval cannot come, says hey, in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. He has the authority. It's outside of his jurisdiction.
I know.
Of his pay grade.
What is this?
Okay?
Hey! My 242 family, listen to me. Boy, tonight is something else. I tell you all, the Bahamian people be like black and white, and we bringing it to you all. We bringing it to you all. You all gotta wake up. Listen to me. Share it. Listen to me. I hope you all are screen recording this show. You all listen to me. Black male say he's not gonna stop until he gets you all to understand every intricate part of how these people are traveling with our fraudulent documentation. He is tired. I am tired. As a Bahamian, we got to stand up. I'm black man.
So, Form 9 is what me as the Bahamian would follow.
Yeah.
The declaration.
Yeah.
But Form 10 is the approval from Fred Mitchell to confirm that I formally renounce. So my declaration is not confirmation.
Mm.
My declaration is only a request on my behalf to give up my Bahamian nationality. The approval comes from the Minister of Immigration, Fred Mitchell. So if he never signs that, I never formally renounce. So you all on that too. Now,
Boy, 242.
here is Haitian law.
What?
Here is Haitian law. Article 10 of the Haitian Constitution says that the regulations that governs Haitian nationality shall be determined by law. It's law. The administrative procedural law is found in their 1984 presidential decree under the Valier, which Article 296 the 1987 Constitution maintained. So it adopted it. It never got rid of it. Understood? Let's read Article 30 of the 1984 Presidential Decree on Nationality. I'm going to read it in French, and then I'm going to interpret it in English. Article 30. La portée de la nationalité haitienne established par arrêté du président de la République Pablo ou journal official. Now let me break that down in English. Laws of Haitian nationality is established or confirmed by a presidential decree and the gazetting of that decree. And it must be published, gazetted in the Le Monitor. In there, you need me to say.
Hey, hey, hey. Repeat that again, because I need to be hitting people in the head. You probably might have said that a little too quick for me, black man. I need you to repeat that one more time. This is
The law. Constitution speaks to it. The regulations that governs Haitian nationality shall be determined by law. The law that governs Haitian nationality can be found in the 1984 Presidential Decree on Nationality, which was maintained and never abrogated or repealed under the March 10th, 1987 Haitian Constitution. Okay? So this law remains in place. You know, read it in French and then back in English again. Article 30. For anyone who wants to go look it up. The 1984 November 6th Presidential Decree, the Valier. La perte de la nationalité haïtienne est establishing par arrêté du président de la République Pablo ou journal official. English. Laws of Haitian nationality shall be established or confirmed by a presidential decree and the gazetting of that decree in the Le Monitor. See ya? The Le Monitor. That's the government publication in Haiti. Like how we have government publication. No law in Haiti, according to Article 45, the Haitian Constitution, and Article 144, is a legal law unless it is published or gazetted in the Le Monitor. So if it's never gazetted, it's not a law. So, rules for Haitians born in the Bahamas is a presidential decree. If they don't have a presidential decree, the Justice Department, the executive, and if it was never gazetted on the Le Monitor, they still Haitian. We judges them still Haitian, man.
my Lord. My Lord.
Hand over here, man.
My Lord.
But these are
Listen, Indian people is giving him a salary.
bro. Stop it, bro. So, we gotta go back. Oh, we can't come to the realization that most of them that was the parliament constitutional illiterate. Right? So we don't accept.
Yeah.
He telling you, these fellas ain't to save us. He gotta save ourselves. Okay. Now, plot difference. Hey, how would a presidential decree look like?
My God.
I got it. Let me read it to you, and I can pass it to you. I put that there, Le Monitor, but it says this what was on the actual document. Official Journal of the Republic of Haiti, Monday, August 26, 1974, 29 year, number 68. Year, it's 200 and something up to the Valierist Revolution. Director, Simon, this values. See that word there, say decree, right? Jean-Claude Duvalier, President for Life of the Republic. citizenship is being taken away from someone. It only becomes official with this decree. That's the same decree what they need. Let me show you what they give us. Considering Article 93 of the Haitian Constitution, the law of August 22, 1907 on nationality, the law decree of July 3rd, 1941, the decree of February 27, 1974 on nationality. Whereas Mr. Nebu S. Sage, a Lebanese nationality, has submitted a request to the Department of Justice expressing his desire to acquire Haitian nationality through naturalization. Now, let me explain. I read to you that the laws of Haitian nationality is determined or established by presidential decree.
Yeah.
Also, the acquisition is a presidential decree. The president got to approve that too. What I have here is the decree on naturalization. I covered the decree on renunciation and just realized I didn't bring it. But the process is the same as the decree. Understood? I read you the decree and has provided the required legal documents. He has fulfilled all legal conditions and has received a favorable moral character from the Department of Interior. Based on the report of the Secretary of State for Justice, decrees Article 1, Mr. Nabu S.I.D. is granted Haitian nationality with all rights, privileges, obligations as provided by the Constitution and the laws of the Republic. Article 2, for completion of the legal swearing in and formalities, this decree will be published
And
entered by the Secretary of State for Justice, published where in the Le Monitor. Given at the National Palace, Port-au-Prince, June 28, 1974, the year 1971, year of independence. Jean-Claude Duvalier, President, the Secretary of State for Justice, Arul C. Genie, decreed it. That's what they need to prove that they formally renounce. Let me show you what they've been giving us. The crooked ambassador from the Haitian embassy, the crooked notary public, the crooked immigration minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the crooked immigration board of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas have been bamboozling the Bahamian people and accepting a fraudulent document. That's what they're accepting.
my God. Blackmail, man. Oh Lord, what is this, man? What is this?
Embassy of the Republic of Haiti, Nassau, Bahamas. You see that, right?
Yes,
Renunciation of Haitian nationality. You see that, right?
yes.
On the 19th day of May, AD 2023, appeared before McLean E. Ridley Jean Baptiste, Consul of the Embassy, Republic of Haiti, to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, acting as notary public in accordance with the terms of Article 86C of the Foreign Affairs Law of September 17, 1953, concerning consular duties. I ain't gonna call the names of the people, but I can just show you. A Haitian, you see the name, right?
Mhm.
Date of birth, you see when he was born. Place of birth, Nassau, Bahamas. Father's name, see that, right?
Mhm.
Mother's name, you see that, right? Identified by certificate of identification, and that's the number. Date of issue, 19th of May, 2023. You see that, right? Place of issue, Nassau, Bahamas. You see that, right? Issuing authority, Embassy of the Republic of Haiti, not the Justice Department, based on Haitian law.
Yeah.
Embassy of the Republic of Haiti, no jurisdiction. Like the brother say, above they pay grade.
Yes.
You see the seal here? Republic of Haiti, Nassau, Bahamas. Okay? The deponent hereby declares that he or she renounces his or her nationality in view of obtaining Bahamian citizenship. Now let's get back. The Article 7 of the Constitution and Article 9. Remember I told you that Article 7 didn't have a safety blanket for the Haitians, renounce and that's it. But Article 9 as a safety blanket for half-breed Bahamian.
Mhm.
This here is a declaration, the requirement of Article 9 from Article 7.
Yeah.
They're using an Article 9 requirement for Bahamian to give an Article 7 non-Bahamian citizenship. See that? That's a declaration. Just like I get the free. See what the free look like? Declaration. How do I know this is a declaration? It's right here. The deponent hereby declares only the deponents in law makes declarations.
Yes.
It's a sworn affidavit, man. That's them saying we won't give up citizenship. That's a request, not the response. They asking for the Haitian government to allow them to renounce. This here is the response. The decree. This here is the request. We giving them citizenship based on the request, not the response. Ain't none of them is no being. Now, the plot thickens again. You see 2023?
Yes, sir.
After we filed the originating notice of motion, they changed the language on the renunciation of citizenship form. You see how that look, right?
Yes, sir.
You see how this one look? Because we caught them.
Mm.
They changed
The layout.
the layout. They changed some of the wording.
Mhm.
So I ain't gonna read all of that. I can read this part here.
Mhm.
Okay. That's the important part of it. Even though they changed it, that's not the point. The important. This is all enough for David. Hereby declares that she renounces her Haitian citizenship. What's this now? In compliance with the Bahamian law. Which law? Article 7. Regarding foreign nationals applying for Bahamian citizenship. So they admit that they have to renounce in compliance with our law. They don't admit that they stateless. They admit they're Christian. They got to renounce. See, they change it from here. They ain't say in compliance with Bahamian law.
Say it there.
Say it here after we got them. You see the date on this? 2024. So they changed the word to try and swing the Bahamian people.
My Lord. Why y'all get caught? Y'all got caught red-handed.
So, so,
Wow.
so they admitting their stateless. They admitting that in compliance with our law, they got to renounce. So this is a declaration. This ain't a renunciation. Ain't none of them will get citizenship from 1973. Amazing.
What is this on this show today? Listen to me. Hey, your tiger friend call a friend. Listen to me. I know what y'all need to do. Listen, y'all better get this. Somebody else's hand. Somebody else can share this. Because this tonight is fire, fire, fire. Y'all heard that statement just now, and y'all notice he didn't say alleged. We don't do the alleged thing here. Okay? He is speaking exactly what he see in black and white. What is this?
Now, you can move to where we begin. Give me that nationality.
Can't wait. I can't wait.
This here is what I had suggested 3 years ago for them to do. Why? Because they were giving out the wrong status to these people.
Yes.
You see why I suggested this?
Yeah.
That's why I told you I'm in agreement with the government to amend that. Because under Article 7, they don't qualify.
Yes.
That's why they're trying to make an amendment to give these people now permanent residency. Because they now understand that based on this argument, they ain't no citizen. So before they have to deport them, they'd rather them be permanent resident.
Nah. Oh, nah. Black man, now. What's going on there now? You know, I ain't like that part. But I ain't like that part. I can tell you now, I ain't like that part.
They are taught. They cannot, the Haitians cannot qualify based on Haitian law and Bahamian law. They cannot qualify for Bahamian citizenship. They don't, none of them have a presidential decree. Check with the monitor. their renunciation to be official, it has to be a decree, and I see if they want to say they renounce. Bring me the gazetted version of then you renounce of the Lamont. That's all you got to do with them. They don't have that dino law, and they renounce. Action law. Their law. Okay, now, so what I was saying after this 3 years, their real status is permanent resident.
Yeah.
If you're born here, okay, fine. That's all fine. You ain't no citizen.
No.
So now, they ain't sure how this case can go. So what they doing now, they trying to pass a law in advance that when the court rule against them in Article 7, they could convert these people's citizenship to permanent residency.
Since you didn't say that now. Do you think that's fair now? You make a dumb mistake like that. Not going with our constitution. Now the Bahamian people must suffer by having these people here from the residents. And
Here's the thing. Based on Article 52 of the Constitution,
yeah,
the Constitution gives them the right to make permanent residency laws. It goes like this. Parliament may make laws with a peace, order, and good governance.
Yeah.
This is the permanent residency is a good governance law.
Good.
Okay? That was also accomplished under the 1967 Immigration Act. Remember now, the Bahama Island legislature always had the jurisdiction or the authority to make permanent residency, but not give citizenship.
Yeah.
Because we were British subjects. Only the British Parliament granted British citizenship. No such thing as Bahamian citizenship before July 10th, 1973. Because we were British subjects.
Yeah.
Immigration is the movement of people in and out your country. Citizenship is an entitlement.
Yeah.
With permanent residency, these people can't vote. I don't have a problem with that.
Me neither.
They can't vote.
Mm-hmm.
They can't be members of parliament, so they can't take the country over.
And they can't get no Bahamian passport.
No.
So all them who got Bahamian passport, what we know from 1973, will have that Bahamian passport. When they come to renew it, they need to get their permanent residency.
But these gangsters ain't gonna do that. See, that's why we gotta challenge it. They too corrupt. What I am saying, they can do that tomorrow, based on the law. I challenge any attorney to come live with me and challenge what I'm saying. I'll do it right here with you. Now, not the attorney. Someone ain't gonna do that.
Yeah.
That's why you have to put a constitutional challenge and let the court give a declaration. And when they refuse to do it, you serve them with a writ of mandamus. The writ of mandamus is if they refuse to obey the ruling of the court, you could jail their backside. How we fighting them? We fighting them wrong. Rallies and protests and rallying and dying for weight. You get it backside the court, get a judgment, and then they keep passing it out, you can jail their backside with a writ of mandamus. That's how you deal with this. A long time, man. That's why I was telling on the COI, challenge it before the election. Don't wait till after.
You did.
Okay? You know what I was saying. I told them on the Steve McKinney show live, they don't challenge the Davis administration. They sending their candidates into a landmine. Get that. I also said, something else I said. They would get beat so bad, they would think that God turned their back on them. They had people in a landslide. So he said, when you have all these illegals voting, and Michel Martelly and Brave Davis don't tell them, vote for us. How would PLP to lose? Along with them allegedly cheating in advance vote.
That's so true. So true.
Brave Davis don't smart them politically. But constitutionally, you could jam them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what you do? You start the process now. Getting to the Privy Council takes about 3 to 4 years. If you start this now, by the time it's the next election, you can take the parliamentary registrar, take all them off the register. Because you would then have a Privy Council ruling. They Then who knows that Lincoln being can be the prime minister because only Bahamians can be voting. So, 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 yeah, they started to listen. So the bus driver.
So I like to look at this situation now. I like to look at a glass empty. The half full, they're now listening to you to get to give the Bahamian the Haitian descent or foreign descent permanent residency. But now here's where it gets half empty. They can try to give them Bahamian citizenship for the ones that coming in illegally. Now they're getting permanent residency. How are we going to prevent them from getting?
So this is where jurisprudence coming. Remember, telling you sections 4, 5, 6, and 9 of the Nationality Act. It's not a law. Based on my interpretation, I even in the challenge. It was never passed under the Bahamas, the former of the Bahamas Parliament under Article 13. That was passed under Section 4.2 of a provisional transitional provision. It only allowed them to make a new law under an existing order, which was the 69 Constitution. The 69 Constitution, which was an existing order, did not have no citizenship provision. So how you make a Bahamian citizenship law and there's no provision? The British boxed them in on what laws could be made. So they took a new law that was supposed to be made in the New Bahamas and passed it under British colonial constitution. Pass it. If you look at the 69 Constitution, it starts with fundamental rights. The 73 Constitution starts with citizenship. 69 Constitution has no provision for Bahamian citizenship. So how can you make a provision where there's no law? That's why Section 4, 5, 6, and 9 ain't no law. So they're using Section 9 to naturalize these people. Under what law? If the law was never passed, people in the papers you see every day, no citizen.
They're not supposed to be making Bahamian citizenship.
That law first is so. The first problem they got, that law was in passed. Sections 4, 5, 6, and 9. The rest of the Nationality Act, it is a law because they are administration for administrative laws and regulations. They were allowed to do that under Section 42 of the 69 Constitution. The legislature may make provisions for peace, order, and good governance. And so that was able to carry over under the transitional provision of Section 4.2 of the Order of Independence. That requires the legal talk, but get ready for it. Don't worry.
Wow.
That's why that file is not inconsistent with Sections 4, 5, 6, and 9. Let me tell you what actually happened. The capability or ability of the Bahama Island legislature to vote, it was impossible. Okay? The capability for them to vote, it's not possible because they didn't have the jurisdiction at the time. So the capability of them to vote for a Bahamian law at the moment of enactment was not possible. What they was voting on was the law yet. Remember, they passed this law on the 5th of July. That law was a law until the 10th. So the vote was illegal. So what they tried to do, they tried to vote on it, but they made the commencement date on the 10th. When you voted, it was illegal. So it cannot be legal when you try to bring it into force on the 10th. Because when you voted, you didn't have no legal jurisdiction. You understand, you laughing.
That's why.
President Donald Trump, president-elect, now was inaugurated until January 20th. So anything he signed before January 20th was null and void. Joe Biden still had the power.
Yeah.
He had to sign that after the 20th. That's Obama's nationality act before independence.
Oh God!
Final law, let me keep saying it. Sections 4, 5, 6, and 9. Concerning the acquisition of citizenship in no law. Here's where there was granted permission. Article 13 of the Constitution, 73 Constitution. Parliament may make provision for the acquisition of citizenship for those who did not become citizens under the provision of this chapter. So the Constitution, Article 13, gave them the power, but they given them the power after July 10th. When the Constitution came into force or effect, you couldn't pass it before. So everything would happen. Independence, null and void. Without nationality out. The nationality out. Now their children, they say they can't renounce, they say they could, but they are not formally renouncing because we don't have a presidential decree from them. So as far as Haiti is concerned, they still Haitian. Any one of them could go right now and pick up the Haitian passport because of the right of blood. So here's the catch. They saying they stateless from age 0 to 18. They can easily go and pick up the documents now, but they say it's hard to find where they can get these documents. All of a sudden, when they reach 18, because now they could find their mother, they could find their Grammy, they could find their great Grammy in England, and get all their documents and bring it for our passport. You could find the documents at 18, but you can't find it at the age of 1. 18 years later, you think you could find out 18 years later when everyone was living? But now, you could.
That's the swing. That's the.
All of a sudden, no, they can find the documents.
That's the gotcha bit.
All of a sudden, that the documents they couldn't find. All of a sudden, so get ready to close. You like it?
I love it.
There's more, but nothing.
Yeah, but you gotta die.
So
I can't no hold up on that.
So. Here's another reason why the Parliament is doing what they're doing. Fred Mitchell Lemon.
Yeah.
No, they call it. Another reason. And remember I told you that this law here, what they're going to do is the tree of good and evil?
Yeah.
The good is what I mentioned. The evil is if we allow them to backdoor these people now. You know that the PLP like to talk about backdoor.
Yeah,
We don't need them like to talk about. They like the backdoor.
They like the back.
They like the back. They don't like the back. They like the back. No, they don't like front door. They like back door. So, what they want to do now is use the fraudulent section 9 of the Bahamas Nationality Act. Because if you read the second schedule of that act, it says that if you were working in the public or the government service for 6 years, or if you were living here for 10 years, you could be naturalized. So what they would want to try to do, if we don't stop them, the ones who don't qualify under Article 7 of the Constitution, they will now say they've been here 10 years and we can naturalize them to give them citizenship. But we gotta stop them from using the naturalization law, which is not a law. That's why I tell you it's a tree of good and evil. I like what they're doing, but it's a backdoor to what they're doing.
And the spiders reminded me of that referendum which very quickly came up with the women's rights and equality gender with the LGBTQ thing. And why does it remind me of that, man?
What's it reminding you of that?
Why these administration always doing that?
And so
They could never be. I'm transparent, man.
and so and so the other problem they have is that I mentioned this early 2023. Late 2023, the Privy Council made a ruling on Jane Richards. Okay? And remember, Jane Richards did not get citizenship. He didn't. He already died now. He had applied late. This is his 19th birthday. Read part of it. Page 36. Get it for you right now. Here, judgment, Jane Ronnie Charles, from the Court of Appeal of the Court of Grounds before Lord Reed, Lord Hodges, Lord Kitzlin, Lord Hamlin, Lady Rose. Judgment given on the 15th of December 2022. Right? So I was talking about this in early 2022, and this judgment came down in December. They argued this on July 5th, 2022. Now, whenever you miss applying for citizenship, there was what they call a lacuna or a gap in the law. So once you missed, there was like no position to put these items. Because from birth to 18, they acted. And when they applied at 18, they try to get Canadian citizenship. And if they don't get it or don't qualify, then after that, who they are, they still Haitian, but you could deport them.
Mm.
So we call it a lacuna in law, a gap. What the Parliament is now trying to do is fulfill that gap. And when you pass 19, that status would now be permanent residency. So the lacuna is moved. There's no more gap. So in order to transfer you from a Haitian to a Haitian, permanent residency, providing we keep the guard on them, that they'll use that same 10 years, give them citizenship through naturalization through the back door.
Lord.
This naturalization law don't exist right now. Right now. Here's part of the judgment. Privy Council. Paragraph 36. And why I'm going to read this. You see the FNM now objecting to what the PLP doing? I disagree with the FNM.
Why?
I disagree with the FNM because when Charles Bell, but the Attorney General, they also agreed to give these people permanent residence.
Thank you. That's what there you go.
Let me read the ruling to you. It appears to be common ground, meaning me and you, an agreement, right?
All the legislators.
That the appellant did not apply for registration as a Bahamian citizen. So Jane Rooney was the appellant at the time, and the Bahamas government was the respondent. They used Taylor Green Smith and I think Casey Poole to argue for the Bahamian people. And I think Fred Smith and Daryl from Dory Oak team was argued on the behalf of Jane Rooney the deceased. It appears to be common ground. So they was agreeing that the appellant did not apply for registration of Bahamian citizenship between his 18 and 19th birthday. So they both agreed that Jane Rooney failed constitutionally to apply in time to get Bahamian citizenship. They agreed to that. As he may, not shall, this is the Privy Council saying, as he may have been entitled to do, shall, under Article 7, under the Bahamas nationality, under Article 7, the Constitution of the Constitution. It also does not appear to be contested that the appellant is entitled to permanent residence in the Bahamas. So the FNM didn't contest that neither. They agreed that Jane Rooney should get permanent residency. So the same thing the PLP going to lay on the table now, the FNM already agreed to that when they was at the Privy Council. So they're now arguing it's a frivolous argument. The Privy Council, in what you call an arbiter dicta, a suggestion, agreed with this. That's right. They agreed with me. They want permanent residency. The Privy Council done so can't in front of them. They would accept these people getting permanent residency, but not citizenship.
Wow.
The treasury representative was, remember now, Article 7, born in the Bahamas. After the night of July 1973, Haitians could do that. Apply after attaining the age of 18, 112 months. Haitians could do that. Jane Rooney didn't do that. For that reason, he wasn't given citizenship. The third reason, you have to be able to renounce. They are not formally renouncing.
No.
What you think the ruling will be at the Privy Council?
Agree.
The same thing. Based on them not formally renouncing. Permanent residency. So this law right in time, for us easily in this case, we could always look at the court and say, well, a law has already been put in place for these people to have a status. It wouldn't be inhumane. Simply convert them from citizen to permanent resident. Man. The law is there. Pass the law here. We go pass this. We want you all pass that. Our job is here.
Don't know the law.
That's why blackmail.
The lawyers, people learned lawyers, these are.
I am saying that's why blackmail with the PLP on this. For pass it, they will make our argument much easier because the law is now in place. You would be considered under international law as being inhumane. Pass the law, Fred. Please pass the law. Now, finally, even now, they're using an inconsistent or unconstitutional application form to give these people citizenship. You heard the ruling that the Privy Council made that Rooney couldn't get it because he didn't apply before his 19 birthday.
Yeah.
The ruling, you saw it.
Yeah.
Form 6, the Immigration Department right now today says this. Persons born in the Bahamas to foreign parents, that's Jane Rooney deceased, from non-Commonwealth countries, that's Haiti, who missed their deadlines to apply for citizenship. They got an application form for people who missed the deadline, and the Privy Council done say you can't be no citizen. You see the application form here? They still giving citizenship for people who missed the deadline. Let me read that again. Persons born in the Bahamas to foreign parents from non-Commonwealth countries who missed their deadline to apply. The deadline is at the age of 19. And even if you missed it, they still have an application form at the Immigration Department giving people citizenship. Bro. Ask me.
But 242. What the hell is going on? What kind of unconstitutional application method is?
Got people applying at 25.
How could you do that? Our constitution speaks about the how.
And the Privy Council has already ruled that once you miss applying before 19, you can't get it. That's why Jane Rooney did not get citizenship. These fellas corrupt. I keep telling you all. Now, where's the money? Get this the court. Once we get Hotel Bandimas, we can demand that an early election without case in SBI because illegal immigrants voted to put the PLP in power. That's it.
My Lord.
That's the constitutional right. Now, you only want to take that? That's your business. See the documents here? And I got more.
Y'all see that?
That's a legal argument.
There's some thick document.
Nothing but
Black and white.
you know what I mean? The PLP wants to be there for 5 years. Challenge this in the court. Once you challenge this and it be deemed that all the Louis Georges, them who show they don't, they need elections. They were not supposed to vote. Half of them lost. North Africa must see by 38 votes and South Africa by 9. How much of them Haitians you think vote for the PLP? If the F of them to challenge it, they could have been North and South Africa. Because Frankie Floridor was on a video saying he grabbing up all the young children who could now vote to register them. How much of them shouldn't have voted? Brown. Keep losing by 300 votes. Polling Division 9 and 9A. That's Lazaretto Road and McCarty. Illumination. If we got them to challenge the Haitian village, Brown would have been MP for 49ers. I'm not trying yet to that far. But what I'm saying, the Prime Minister just take the country from them like a candy from a big area. You bring the law, not policy. You argue this. Right? Now, I know lawyer. I argue that on your ear. Imagine be there with King's Counsel. Who know every last word. These fellas wouldn't stand and light a day in court. So, then what you know? What you gotta do? You took it, Haitian ambassador. You subpoena him to court and ask him if this document is a formal decree from the Haitian government, yes or no. If he says yes, we'll prove he lied. If he say no, then he throw all them Haitian under the bus because they are formally renounced. All you gotta do is ask ambassador. Ambassador that. Okay, yes or no. If he can be a no. Every claim that they declaration, license can't renounce with declaration. They need a presidential decree, yeah. And we know that's a declaration. And if we lie or no, the backside get the point. And if we say yes or no, then ask them to produce the presidential decree for all the newbie judges there. If they can't produce it, then you go now to the court and you ask for a general election to be called in less than 5 years. Get rid of mandamus. I say, any courts?
That's 2.2. Well, y'all know we can't end the show just like that.
But will you have some people inside the comments? I mean, in the studio. Do you want to say something?
Yes,
In
we
the-
do
in
have
the audience?
we do have some people live in studio, so we know we're gonna open up the floors for questions. And for those of you who want to call in, by all means, the number is 823-2218. Again, the number is 823-2218. Please do call in and ask Blackmail any questions or concerns you may have. Blackmail, you know what is so very, very interesting to me? You breaking this whole immigration, this whole nationality, this whole constitutional policies, and just bringing the law in order and audience of what it's supposed to be. Why is it so hard for this and previous administration to correct the mistakes of previous administration? Why is it hard? Because they just kick the can along the road.
You have two things in play. Constitutional illiterate.
Wow.
Two things in play at the same time. But some, many of them don't know. The ones who do know, see, you gotta understand. With the Bahamas Nationality Act, immigration department or ministers, they can go bungie anyone and give them that paper. They go theft anyone, that paper because that's their law. They should run that. The Constitution don't allow that. The Nationality Act in place. They could get a bag of money on their desk and say, I can make you citizen tomorrow. The Constitution don't allow that. That's why they don't want to change that. Be pregnant to take immigration and foreign affairs now.
I understood that. I understood that from when he was appointed those positions.
Okay.
And I say those two positions are very dangerous for one man to handle. Very dangerous.
And you know,
You should not handle those two positions at the same
we
time.
should not. But we already know. And he's handled all type of position with all time.
Now you see, go home, you jumping in. You need to come up this thing. But listen to me. Listen to me. Don't you do the conflict of interest with those two positions? Minister of Immigration and Minister of Foreign Affairs. A conflict of interest. Think about it. You have to go and fight against these illegal migrants coming into the country and be diplomatic with the leaders of these countries in regards to immigration. And then you are the one sitting at the table to sign off on these illegal immigrants coming into our country and giving them naturalization.
But it's only a controversy based on what their goals are.
We know what they go.
Right, okay, so according to what we believe their goals are, it's like interchangeable. It's synonymous. They love this because one helps the other.
Yes.
It's like a one-stop shop now for corruption to continue. Now, if you was running the country right, you would separate those two ministries. We know what the PLP plans are, right? And that's what we up against, my brother. That's the naked truth.
Wow.
Right? So let them call, ask Blackmail any question.
So what do we do now? Like knowing all of this now, do you think waiting for 5 years from now, just say, well, getting all of the behemoths together, and walking on Russell Square to shut this country down? Like what is that step from here? Knowing all of these stuff. And we've been knowing majority of these stuff, but the know just at the it's so deep. This is so deep. What do we do from here?
I said it's 1 million. For me.
No, I want them
That's $1 million. Put it. Oh, where is the limit? Where is Selena, Steve Paul, family guardian. Well, fine, but then we look at our money once it go there. You put that money there and hold it in escrow so that we can have money to pay costs, or if local court decide to rule against the Constitution. Only one way this case is supposed to go, based on evidence.
Yes. Black and white.
Renunciation is renunciation, and then our Constitution speaks to renunciation of citizenship. That is synonymous with nationality because we have a Bahamas nationality. Yeah. Then we have to renounce their citizenship and their nationality also. That's a package deal. They try to say that Haitians got a citizenship law and a nationality. You in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, citizenship, even in the Terry Roll case, means nationality. That's the one stop. Try separate. Say like America, where the people in America, Samoa, are nationals but not citizens because they were not incorporated under the 14th Amendment. We don't operate like that. So they have American nationality, but they don't have American passport. The Bahamas don't operate like that. Once you become a citizen, you're a national. Once you're a national, you're a citizen. Okay? So you raise the money, take them out of the court. I tell you talking.
We have a question.
I say the audio, the perfectly fine. Yes, I don't know. It's probably your phone, but the audio is actually how's the audio producer?
Well, we have a question. We have a question coming in. The Washington government, and they still don't have election date from 2025 late, never in time.
Then that brings up another issue. From 2021 to the assassination, there wasn't a legitimate president. So how do these people who we see in the newspaper today renouncing an executive decree to be given from any authority
Exactly.
and be making them citizens and they vote in that,
Exactly.
we can just use that example. We don't even go way back. So remember now, Article 7 of the Constitution, Haitians could have applied 18 years after being born in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. So if they were born in 1973, the first applicant couldn't come until 1991, 18 years until after 73. That's 1991, 18 years later. Which means that the 87 Constitution and the 84 Presidential Decree, the 84 Nationality Act, which required the Presidential Decree, was active. So they needed that. Then they first applied in 91. That law was in place from 84. So they can't escape that. Show me a presidential decree or your executive decree. And the setting in the monitor, if you can't produce stuff, you still Haitian. You ain't no Bahamian, you shouldn't have voted either. That's all. That only renunciation breaks that cycle. And I ain't talking about no fake renunciation with that declaration paper. Presidential decree. If they bring me the presidential decree, then I say use a Bahamian and Article 7 of the Constitution. Unless and until we get that, you Haitian man.
You all have to something say Black Wave House here. I want to ask a question. I mean, aside from what has been discussed, as far as our government is concerned, aren't they under our constitution? Aren't they treasonous with the actions that they take?
The unconstitutional is repugnant.
Really, first of all, I think to get rid of our constitution because they're treasonous.
Well, we don't have a law. The treasonous part speaks the English British colonial law. We haven't waited to come. We haven't put in statute law to govern this. So that's what I'm saying. Our only route, take it to court, get a judicial review, get a ruling, ask the court to issue a writ of mandamus that would force the government hand. Okay? By you protesting and rallying and Facebooking and TikToking, they listen to you all day. Craig Davis listen up to that straight up election. But he allegedly had the fix in place with the Haitian voters. So he was a Marian. His player is taking this to court and loosen that voting block. That's how you beat him. Between that and the alleged criminal act with the advance poll, their boxes was allegedly open and ballots was allegedly placed in. How you gonna beat him? The PLP will be in power for the next 25 years. If you don't deal with this, here and now.
So where boxes was allegedly in the bag with somebody.
Now,
Back trunk. Allegedly.
Back from them, full of ballot.
for the ballot.
Well, where's Shanton knows? Where's our law enforcement to come and lock these people up? That's why we don't need nobody to be appointed by the Prime Minister.
Yes.
Is when the biometric system is implemented. They will win point one seat next time. And they they're in full force. They already like brought down out in the Southern District in like Golden Isles, where they tried to start it in Bacardi in that area. But nationwide, you didn't hear about that. I was also voted by that. So when that really take off, see, they was feeling their way now. When that really take off and they could allegedly cheat with the computer, yes, yeah, and it worked. So now they go full force in the next 5 years. Definitely, I'm going to see I will never see governance in this country no more. We need to band together, take this to court, carry these arguments. I willing to carry arguments, carry it. What we have to lose? If we sit here, we can die. That's like the poor leprous men who stand at the gate of Samaria, contemplating their future.
Yeah.
They say, Ron, if we sit here, we know one thing, we can die. Hey, here, we sure with that. We go forward, we just might live. The Lord allowed the chariots, noise to come and the enemy scattered because they went forward. But one thing they knew and they decided, if we sit here, forward.
So with that being said, then, Blackmail, what do you propose that every Bahamian watching this show wants change for our country? What do you propose we do? I know you made the plea already and letting them know we need to change this. We could change this in the next 3 years, maybe less. What do you propose we do to make what is happening, which you already started with the Patriots, happen for the Bahamian people?
Raise the money, my friend. But get the lawyer at this point. I already know. I'll take it myself. All right, man. All right. All I need on the side of me is a paralegal or a lawyer with balls who understands procedures in court.
Yes.
For when they try bring starry decisive and them big Latin words, they can respond. But the arguments itself, we can deal with that.
Aye! Why listen to me? You know how she go.
I smell like the to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard it here. You have heard the passion. You have seen the documentation. And one thing I love about Anka 242, we love to bring the black and white. And everybody that comes on the show, like Mr. Blackmail, always comes with substance to speak to you. And I'm only saying this because I feel it in my bone. I feel it as a Bahamian. We need to do something. The COI, the FNM, they cannot do anything moving forward. Carry this to the Constitution. If they don't put this in court, like he's saying, do about it.
You see Fred Mitchell in Parliament? I just been tried to lay some dog. They'll strike down everything, bro.
Yes, but they have the
They have the power.
Yeah.
Parliament make laws. Who got the numbers? Control. The only way you can control them, you can control the executive is judicially. You understand? Judicially. You take this to court. Get judicial review. Get the court look at it. If the court goes by the Constitution in the Bahamas, be straight. The Privy Council ain't gonna ignore this evidence.
Now, being devil's advocate, what if they don't?
Don't.
The court.
Don't do what?
Look at it, the constitutional one.
That's fine. That's why we need the $1 million. So the fight don't stop. Within 30 days, we appeal because we got the money and we keep appealing until we get to them 5 white people in London. That's the London base. They get brought to talk fool around here. That's constitutional law, man. That's the supreme law. You don't even make yourself look stupid. Still no policy be arguing, you know. Our own constitution, country's constitution, along with statute law that regulates citizenship. How are we gonna lose?
Question.
Oh, the only way they try to throw this out, like Randall James them, that he tried to force through procedures, saying he had no standing. That's why all we need is the right lawyer to file the right papers, to give us the right standing. And we go from there. The court got to hear you. The Article 26 of the Constitution. They gotta hear us. Once it's on the record, go forward. So we'll give it the Supreme. I don't think this will pass the appeals court. We have a confident appeals court here. Panel. They look for constitutional argument. You well on your way. And the Privy Council, they tell you up front, we don't make laws, we only interpret it. And with our constitution, there's no ambiguity. The word renunciation is just like the word hallelujah. It's the same thing wherever you go. Long is renounce. What is format to renounce? Just lay it out, the hyphen format to renounce. Executive decree and gazetted and the monitor. Because no decree is a law in Haiti unless it's gazetted, just like the bombs. Once the parliament passed a law, I know law tell me gazette that. So their pronunciation, if it's not gazetted, it's still Haitian man.
Well, Anka 242, I know we have spent a lot of time here with blackmail. If there's no more questions, I'd like to let everybody know that we will be putting up a GoFundMe or some form of payment where we can get to this $1 million mark. Now, listen to me. I am not somebody who is asked for funding, but guess what? When it comes to my country, I will be that. I will be that Jones. I will be that prostitute because this is something that we need to get going. This is something that we need at Bohemians and blackmail. If you don't mind telling me the pictures, as far as you've known, they have done all of this knowledge and this background and this research. They have been doing this for how long?
It is under the leadership of Mr. Steve McKinney, doing this from times 2024, I think. 2 years.
So
2 years. Got enough now information ready. It's deep. So we had an educational program going on. 7.5, Steve McKinney Show. I think the Bohemian public concerning this matter. Now the information is out there and it will continue to get out there. Even if there's any challenges, that's what you're on.
Yeah.
If you want to have a debate in the court of public opinion, blackmail is here.
Yeah.
I sit here, you sit there, let's talk.
yeah,
But outside of the court of public opinion, this going into official court, my friend. We are not going to let Haitian nationals take this country over for them and their children. They have a country go fix Haiti. I'm stupid in the process.
Yeah. Well, my Anka 242 family, you have heard it. You've seen the passion. You have actually black and white documentation. It's real here. For those of you who want to get the information that was disclosed here this evening, well, you know how to get in contact with us. You can send us the email
242live@gmail.com.
and you can also reach us on all our social media platforms such as TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. But Blackmail, we want to say thank you for coming out to Uncut 242 and giving us all of your time and energy and your wealth of knowledge, because this show is just based for, not just for Bahamians, but by Bahamians to make our country even better or great. We need to get back into loving one another and doing what is right in our country. We need to be more transparent and more accountable in our country. And that is where we are going, we are moving from, and we need to get back to. And so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I know my co-host, do you have any thing to say to everybody and the 242? I know because we've been on the show now, and we take all the time. We start on time, man.
2 hours now. Then I'm going strong with blackmail. I just want to. I know. I didn't get a chance to say. You said that you're going to be the prostitute for the.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be the prostitute. So when y'all see me asking some of y'all for donations, y'all listen to me. Don't slap up. Just write the check. I ain't gonna hear nothing. Matter of fact, y'all ain't even gotta write the check. Go to C5. Go to cash. We can give y'all the handles, but y'all need to carry this money because we need to get this ball on the road. Because I can be putting some of my personal monies into this too, just like how I be with other charitable organizations and making donations and all of that. I will be doing the same thing because listen to me, every little counts. Okay? And we have to be our brother's keeper. If we don't move forward now, what's going on? I don't know what country I'm going to have in the next 2 or 3 years. But another question just before we go, blackmail. I see Mr. Rollins of the F&M. He is arguing with the member of parliament for Cat Island and Rumkey and the Speaker of the House about the situation.
Oscar Mayer.
Yeah, you talking about the Minister of Dogs. Yeah. So he was arguing over the fact the United States is having some conflict with the drug dealer, drug smuggler, whatever, that is causing international disruption and our credibility and our sovereignty as a country because we want to know who is politician number one. What do you say about this level of international? I don't even know what to call it.
The parliament needs to address it. You have sworn affidavit from a CIA, that was laid the Southern District, New York. It's a relevant document for the Speaker of the House. It's called that boss.
Yeah.
He talking foolishness.
Yeah.
He talking foolishness. Right? Now, no disrespect to her, but you cannot just cast that aside as gossip. When the Americans has a document laid in their Southern District dealing with this matter, they were the wrong word she used. I just call that gossip and Fred Mitchell them just throwing that aside. And but they don't want no foreign documents laid in our parliament. Well, we need to know who this politician is who did such a thing in our parliament. That has gone beyond gossip. Because documents was laid in a relevant court, a relevant jurisdiction.
I think, but with my, he might have been hungry that day. She might have been hungry, but I just want to let her know. I'm talking about this after that. I'm going to be a big spread about. I come to you.
She talking fool. You know, I know she's a bad though. No, I know she's a intimidating. She prime minister. She's a all right, Fred Mitchell. That listen, later document. If that is right, that is way disgusting.
Yes.
That is way disgusting. Now I get it, but Fred Mitchell saying that the document has not been tested. But we can get to that. Talking with the document being tested. While I'm speaking to the allegations, someone in our parliament was in cahoots or complicit with an illegal activity that happened in American jurisdiction.
And our House of Parliament.
And House of Parliament. And the UK, everyone would step down. Yeah, that's how we right. That's why I'm saying to you, policies and rallies and protests, they laugh. Get it backside the court. Get rid of mandamus and jail they backside when they refuse. Like the court rule, and you see Form 6, and they said giving us citizenship under Form 6 after 19. What someone got to do now is use the Privy Council ruling that can't happen. And if the immigration department continue to do that with Form 6, they can get locked up. But the Privy Council then rule. And you can't give citizenship to people who past 19. But they're doing it. I'm be joking, man. I tell you, I'm tired talking.
We gotta stop talking, but how it's fair for them to break the law and then they can do it when it comes to the grassroots. They were throwing the key.
Bringing up that point. Clear up. Deep down, but it shouldn't go nowhere. Who made the statement with the women? That's right, you. You got ministers doing worse things, stepping down. And you want to talk about that man need to step down? Because he made an honest statement?
Yeah.
And tell them go sit down. That's the problem in this country.
Yes.
On the road that I'm talking about, they pulling people in.
Yes.
And no. And it's alleged that he was a part of the alleged opening of boxes. Everyone people. Fine with it was alleged. They got time to talk, but this one got to step down. Well, Prime Minister make step down. All these allegations over on him on the street. They're trying to make step down, and this ain't alleged. Are they giving out citizenship illegally through the immigration board? Blackmail say that. That ain't no alleged. They move right here.
Yeah. They don't want sign on the dotted line for the Bahamian people, but they want sign on the dotted line for the foreigners. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say thank you again, Blackmail, for coming out to the show. This show was very hot.
Yeah, it was really.
I think it was too much tonight, though. But you know, like I said, I will be a political prostitute only for my country. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I will be asking you to support patriots as Bahamians to get into the courts, to go to Supreme Court and put this in the right hands of the Supreme Court. We need to challenge this constitutionally. We cannot slump with these documents. It is shown here in black and white. We have the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Listen to me, I need us to do this quickly because I don't want none of these people to dead before we get to them. So I be real with y'all. I am not playing when it comes down to this. I plead to you, my Anka 242 family and my Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Let me get my family. I plead.
Lord, what he say, he was under that dead, Lord. And when he say, Lord, and he ain't speaking for himself. What's people?
So I don't want none of that there. We can get them, but they silver bracelets on. Because somebody got to pay the price. Yeah, they can run. They can go. They can have their day. They can have their judgment day. But I need them to have some of that here now. I don't want them to leave the earth without getting some of that here now. And some of the children too. Some of the children are complicit. Some of the children now know that they are doing some wrong thing. Okay? They put in the children name. Huh? Y'all think we don't know? We know. We just follow the money. Stop it. It's wicked. It's nasty. You stole people's inheritance and expecting for your family to feed off it. It's not right. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I say, I want to say thank you again to Blackmail, and I'd like to say thank you for our live audience that came out this evening. But do you have anything else to say?
No, I just want to thank everybody. We're going to be live. We're not going to do Untouched Part 2 after dark tonight, but we're going to do it tomorrow because this live is so hot. Drive way, but feet to buy $1 million.
Yeah.
We can
Well, don't worry about that. Listen to me. We could need to put that $1 million house on a note. We could need that so we could go to the Supreme Court and say, I can tell you now, I could be a prostitute. I beg it. I tell you now, I beg it because I need my country to come back. I need my country to be the 242 where people could come and the foreign investors could come in and want to invest.
Yeah.
Man, the foreign investors don't want to invest no more. They moving out of the country. Because too much corruption, the minute they invest into the country, this one day on the table money. This one wants something that stop that.
too greedy.
Sad. We gotta address these things. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you again. My name is Dawson Bullet, aka Duke of Gold.
My name is Pian Tom Powell.
And this is Uncut 242.
Good night,
Good night, everyone. We really appreciate that. Good to be.